Hey guys, Antimatadota here. For those of you that know me, you'll know me as like a Ember Storm Spirit kind of player, that spammer even, that just coaches quite a bit, occasionally streams. Well, more recently I started streaming again, and I watched this game on stream with some of my viewers. And I like to be educational, we had a good chat about it, but I enjoyed the intellect that went into this game so much that I decided to do a quick technical analysis of it. So sit back, enjoy, and hopefully you learn a few things. If anything, this just made me realise that I still appreciate the top levels of Dota so much for the thought that goes into setting up the big plays that we eventually actually see on the screen. I've done a bit of shoutcasting before, but this isn't going to be about that. It's just going to be a little analysis of this grand final game between VP and Team Secret for the Summit first place, the score of the set, currently 2-2. So let's get into it. First ban of Enigma. And Team Secret respond with Riki and Ioban. Clockwork to follow up. Not much of a surprise there. Clockwork's a really strong roamer at the moment. Definitely something VP have done as well. I'm going to speed it up a little bit, just because I don't want to spend ages sat in the draft.
10 seconds remaining.
Using a bit of time to think about this.
Reserve time.
And they open with their Sanking. So, this is what Secret have done a couple of times now in this tournament. I think they might have even done it the last game. They'll open with the Sanking Crystal Maiden.
Team Secret's turn to pick.
We should see Crystal Maiden coming out now.
10 seconds.
Not too much thought into it. Yep, there we go. So they've done this before. This is just such a roaming support combo that they, well, not roaming support, a support combo that they like to run. In response, VP pick up this Darkseer Sven. Now that's a really strong combo already to have that vacuum into Sven stun. Pretty reminiscent of like 2013, 2012, where you'd quite often see Darkseer Jakiro. I'd have liked to see a Jakiro ban here, but I don't think they do it.
10 seconds.
Like, you're looking to ban these teamfight heroes, so like Jakiro, Warlock, kind of anything that adds to this already kind of, we want to teamfight you, we want a 5-man you. Disruptor's a smart ban. Again, it fits in with that kind of logic.
Team Secret's turn to ban.
As opposed to VP, who are just looking to just get rid of heroes that break up the teamfight or that can counter the teamfight. So Void, again, just dropping that Corona to just mess up their combos, right? Clockwork, for the obvious reason, it's good already, but Clockwork can really split up this teamfight, especially if you've got a lot of melee cores, right? Speeding it up again just to get through this. There's that Warlock I talked about. This already looks really strong. Like, you don't want to fight into this as a Secret, which is weird because the previous games you've been seeing VP run around the map with their split-pushing heroes, this kind of Morphling, Queen of Pain, even Radiance Doom. Like, they've not been fighting. It's been Secret that's wanted to fight all the time, right? So now VP are putting this 5-man lineup. It's just a really weird reversal to take into the final game, to just mix it up like this. But I like it. It's a really solid draft so far, definitely favouring VP. Nyx is a smart counter pick against this int-heavy lineup. Great against the Darkseer. Now a DP, another int hero. Really strong hero, by the way. I think it's really underrated in pubs at the moment.
10 seconds remaining.
And again, it just adds to this 5-man, to this push that VP have. Now this, this in particular, I thought was a fantastic pick. I'm going to pause because I know what comes up next. Actually, I'm going to let it run. This Medusa pick is fantastic. And what I was saying about breaking up the team fight, right? They banned all these heroes to break up the team. But what does Medusa do? She turns on her ult, and you've got to stop what you're doing. Like, you either get frozen, you get stoned, or you have to disengage. Now that's a perfect hero to pick up the team fight, right? Perfect hero to break up that team fight that they so desperately just want. So, I really liked this Medusa pick. I thought it was really, really smart of Puppey to take this up, because it's not a common hero, but against these heroes, seems like a really smart pick. They ban out the Invoker, just generally all-round good hero. Again, it also breaks up the team fight with that Deafening Blast and that 8-second Tornado spam that we're so used to seeing in pub games at the moment. Team Secret really think about this final ban. They really think about what they're banning for VP. Slow this down because I know exactly what comes here. Because I remember Pog champing about it on stream. So 30 seconds left. Really thinking about this final ban. They really don't see the hero that brings... What's the final hero they really want? That doesn't stand out as an obvious hero to me. You're not even sure of these lanes, you know? Solo's obviously going to play the Warlock. So, they ban the Slardar. Fine. All round, pretty good hero.
Turn to pick.
They get their last pick here. And for their last pick, they pick up a hero that I'm surprised made it this far through the drafting phase. They do grab...
10 seconds remaining.
Very last second.
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
10 seconds left, ticking down, ticking down, ticking down. And they do... any second now. I think they literally leave it to the last second. It's like the last 5 seconds. I haven't rewatched this since the other night. So they grab that Razor, right? Really strong hero at the moment. Surprised it made it through the draft this far. Really nice against the Sven. Just link him and not have to worry about it. Sven's one of those heroes that jumps into the fight. That's when he does his damage. It's kind of all about this burst after the stun. So, pretty nice hero from Razor. Just a general strong hero. And a fantastic laner as well, so whatever lane he's put in is going to be fairly favourable to him. But immediately countered by VP.
Dire team pick.
They actually pick up the anti-mage for Ramses. So it's a roaming Sven, which I didn't think of. And honestly, right here and now I think is where VP really show that they've pretty much won the game. They've got this against Dusa, but not only do they get this against Dusa, they've got a fantastic lane matchup if they manage to put the Nyx against the AM. And Secret have to win this game. They can't go late game against this lineup. They have to win the early game, and their lanes aren't even that strong. So, other than the Razor lane, which is expected to be strong, their lanes aren't great. I really think this is a really smart draft from Solo, and I'll say this over and over again. I was really quite excited about this when it happened. I think I go as far to say is that Solo picked these heroes up to the Warlock, expecting this Medusa counter pick, because it does do exactly what they want. It breaks up the team fight, and that's exactly what VP give the intuition they want, especially with this whole setup. And they get this last pick anti-mage against the Medusa, obviously a hard counter. But not only that, they've got nothing to really deal with the AM. Aghanims looks fantastic here for him. If he wants to BKB, he's free. There's really no catch for him apart from the Sanking and the Nyx, but the Nyx is not going to kill him alone. It's going to take a lot of setup, and because it's a competitive game, Nyx isn't going to be able to move around the map that much without it being noticed, so they will know he's missing. So let's get into it. I just think this is really smart. The Razor pick is nice. He smoked mid one, I had to put this ward up. Solo gets his ward out as well. I think the Razor pick's nice. It's nice for them to get that, but this anti-mage pick was just so smart. And here's where they see the Nyx top.
30 seconds to battle.
And Ramses decides, probably called by Solo, to run bottom. They want this Nyx matchup, so Puppey sent the Medusa top, expecting to get the Darkseer bottom against the Nyx, but the AM wants to be against Nyx. It's a good lane for him. And if he can solo it, then that's even better. Solo experience and free farm for the anti-mage on the off lane. Really smart. This combined with the draft, it just shows how good Solo is as a captain, honestly.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
Courier sniped by Solo at the beginning of the game. Probably smoked again for that. Here's where you see the AM just taking mana break and trading with Kizu. Ramsey's probably the best carry world at the moment. If not the top 3. If not the best, definitely the top 3. Just trading away all that mana from Kizu. And here comes Solo to help him out. So this is free farm. Meanwhile, Medusa's struggling up top. Let's pop the last hits and denies up there for you. Meanwhile, Medusa solo against this Darkseer Sven lane. CM helping out from the jungle. Mid lane matchup, it's a Razor against DP. This is pretty heavily Razor favoured, as you can see, mid one crushing in the CS here. 10-5 to 5-1. So Ramses gets the first blood upon the Sand King, and he gets the Nyx here too. So perfect start, right? Like the draft looks good for them, the lanes look good for them. This almost already feels like GG. And the biggest thing I wanted to hammer home was this draft. Like, I do think the draft is the big thing. Invisarine up on the Razor. Looking to set up something here. Besides just the CS. Sven kind of walking around. Heading his way mid. Going in for the stun, I assume. With the stun. Razor Fairy fires. The CMTP is getting this nice return kill on the Sven. Here we see no one with a huge creep advantage, just walking in on mid one here. Mid one dying solo to no one here. Two 9k players. Meanwhile, Pasha gets the kill on Medusa up top with the help of the Sven. Big that mid one died there, by the way. Like, the Razor is key to their early game. It's the key hero to keep them in this game. So now the AM sees the Medusa bottom. I assume immediately TPs to go lane up against the AM. Yep. Immediately switches up, goes top, gets that Nyx matchup again before the Nyx is even there. Now the AM's got safe lane, so jungle experience for him, free farm for the supports pulling the lane, and the Darkseer gets to go bottom. It's just, this early game is just perfect for VP. Absolutely perfect. Nyx just trying to get experience. They do dive the tower, forces the CM rotation. Because of that, we do see no one playing aggressive in the mid lane, because he knows Crystal Maiden can't be here. He goes in for this, gets the nice kill off on the Absol there. No response for the CM possible because she just TP top. He gets a nice arcane room bottom save for him by Pasha.
What surge is this?
It's generally really nicely executed early. Nyx notices this huge stack, tries to pull it but doesn't quite get it in time.
Trust me, I know how to handle such power.
Solo here, just looking to zone him out. Meanwhile, Ramsey's just farming to the CS with Ramsey's near the top, considering he started from the offlane, not that bad. Razor obviously dominating the CS, but that's expected, and he's no one not far behind him actually. Still looking really good for VP. Like I said, it's under pressure to get Solo to do these things. It's under pressure for Secret to do things in this early game. Nyx gets caught trying to sap experience from the pull camp. Another kill for Ramsey, so already 3 kills to his name. Not even 10 minutes into the game. Barely misses a creep.
Middle tower is under attack.
Sven just pulling, getting his levels.
This'll come in handy.
And you're in for Solo. This ward mid's kinda nice. I when they place that. I guess Warlock did that after the kill mid. Sven smokes. Looks to the bounty rune, doesn't see it. Heads mid. Looking for a kill on one. Who notices the Sven's missing and backs off to Shrine. All 3 of them. There you go. Absol drawing the line, they know the Sven's there. They see him now with the smoke. Stun whiffs. Sven gets away. Here we get a nice. This is the final thing for the early game. The final part of this laning phase that. Actually, the only thing that keeps Secret in this game, really. I think at this stage I'd have said it was all but over, but here's Razor. Yapsaw. Don't they go smoke now? Like they do. It's farming up on Razor. Lil going bottom, going in on the Medusa. Very tanky hero, not dying anytime soon. Absol looks for the return stun, but doesn't get it. Still, everyone just kind of farming. Razor grabs the regenerate. BP stunned by Absol. And Razor dies. Again, this is the hero that needs to be doing stuff. 0 and 2. This is the hero to keep them in the game, to give them the early game there, give them that early game advantage until so they can convert it before this AM becomes a hero. As soon as this AM becomes a hero, maybe a second, third item, that's when the game's over with them. And then they do get that return kill on no one, which is pretty big. Followed by that, Razor TP's top, immediately goes for solo. Slowing this down a little bit. See that Ramses doesn't want any part of this. I think here, Solo calls him back over to help. Ramses originally didn't want any part of this, you could say, otherwise he just stayed in the tower, and he was right to do so. He does die. The support rotation with the Nyx as well. And now, 4 heroes top, looking for this top tower. I think Ramses didn't want to come there, and I think Solo kind of was like, hey, help me, I'm being dived, help me, I'm being dived. I think Ramses had the intuition to know that he shouldn't have helped. I think Solo might have gotten killed with that, but Darkseid just farming up the jungle, farming up the bottom lane.
Is under attack. Dire structures are fortified.
And this is where the game kind of slows down a little bit. Like, you see this kind of static farming. Both sides just farming on their heroes. Like, and this definitely favors VP. Without this killing top with the Razor, the game honestly is already over. But this nice reprieve they get by killing the AM top plus Solo and not having it be on the Razor is just narrowly keeps them in the game. 3 move with the smoke, sitting behind no one as it just goes to take this mid tower.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
They're on top. Absol positioned behind these trees. No blink on him yet, they got the sentry down, they expect the Nyx. This is actually to the south. No one not quite able to get this tower, but he didn't use the exorcism. There's still smoke behind him. Pasha doesn't surge Leo forward, he just uses the war cry there to try and get that initiation. And now you got this 5v4 clash mid while the AM's just farming up on the top lane. They want this tower. They go for the deny. And they get it. No one. Still, looking, this is the opposite of every other game we saw, or if you were watching the Summit games, every other game that VP played, they were the ones dodging the fights, they were the ones playing the map. This time, it's them looking to force the issue, and they've got an anti-mage, farming the entire time, almost up to his Battle Fury at 14 minutes. It's pretty good CS from Ramses. Nothing super special, nothing super high. 95 and 14 is not great, but he was off lane at the start of the game, he was solo, he's been left solo quite a lot, he hasn't had that much help. All around pretty good. Does pick up the broadsword from the side shot, which I find quite weird, especially as the fact that the courier's died. I guess that's why he did it. Because Battle Fury is going to be delayed, because he is going to get this gold before the courier's up. Absol just farming down here, stuns away, chased down by Veal, picked up by Ramses and no one. And then they're jarring for this bottom tower. Razor going for the mid, while they push in the bottom. Again, Exorcism's popped here this time. Make sure they get that tower down. Ramsey sets up for the mid. They manage to defend the middle tower, leaving no one to get the bottom tower goal around. This is all just culminating in, you know, Nyx as well on the way out. Missed that. Probably they're sending it this fast. And this end, Sven is set up top for the somebody's already. This is just, you know, all this to the lead for VP. This is where the Razor dies here. Not great. Sorry, where the AM dies to the Razor diving top. But still, fairly solid lead for VP. And this is in a game where it's on Secret to pressure them to do things. The AM with his Battle Fury now, pretty much going to be fine wherever it wants. As soon as he's got that Manta, the game gets infinitely harder for a Secret. X just scouting him out. Ramsey's playing safe, doesn't know where anyone is. Doesn't see any of them on the map on any of his wards. His wards are all really clustered towards the centre of the map, actually. Would have quite liked something extra down here for Dire, so that Ramses can play the jungle a bit.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Farming away, using exorcism again to pressure the top tower. Secret just can't fight them. And that's not the position they want to be in with this Razor. They want to be able to fight this. They don't want to have this anti-mage just farming while their Medusa just farms. And they want to take this 5-1-4 fight and they want to pressure it. So here's mid one looking to poke at bottom a little bit. No real help behind him. Just Yapsaw. And he has to back off. 5 here, AM still just farming. Nothing really going to slow him down at this point. Gasher up already. Farming, farming, farming. Inefficient blink there, probably played this. The little just kind of blinked from to here. But not that relevant. Just a tiny thing. He TP's bottom. One thing you'll notice from Ramses that I noticed in the game, I'll say after this. Razor getting quite a few kills here, Medusa even. This is all around a really good fight for Secret. Bullying off VP. They get 3 kills, it's a pretty good fight for them. What you'll notice though, Ramses is always looking at the map. If you go to the player perspective, and click on Ramses, he's always looking. Very, 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 very fast player. Really young player, the young Russian guy. Genuinely one of the best carries I think at the moment. But he's always looking at the map, no matter what he's doing. He looks at everything. Every time he sees a hero on the map, he looks at it. See that? Looking mid. He doesn't miss a thing. But he knows his job. Farm, farm, farm. If this game reaches 30 minutes, 40 minutes, the longer it goes, the easier it gets.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
The Medusa looking to eye up mid, but the AM's here.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
It's kind of awkward little scrap where no one's really engaged on the ball. And Ramsey is perfectly happy to just trade away the Medusa's mana shield. No harassment from him. He's got the Manta, got the Aegis. Feeling unkillable on Ramses at this point anyway. With his team just sat right behind him, and they're vying for this top tower. I imagine. But not in any hurry to do so. Just perfectly content to farm up and get their levels. AM completely uncontested. EKB on mid one. Looks like it's getting him away. Does take the stun from Yapsaw to secure that, but Razor does get away because of it. Or does he? Looks like he's away. Regenerate popped. Regenerate broken by Ramses. Still chasing. Let's force those 2 TPs out. They were about to come in to defend the tower anyway. And this Razor moving towards the Ags now after being. I quite like this.
Radiant's middle tower.
They recognise their need to get buildings. I mean, and it's also a pretty good team fight out of them. Like, it's giving them tank experience stats, and it's giving them the ability to deal more damage than they should. No one defending top tower. They get the tier 2 mid. 2 more tier 2s to go before the AM has this entire map to himself. But support's just kind of getting a little bit of the XP farm on the bottom lane. I'll be pushing in towards like Yules, I think it was. But then to Ramses' rotation. Now they're set up on the bot lane looking to push here. Knowing that they've just seen Razor top, they've just seen Sanking in the mid. So Ramses goes straight to hitting that tower. Knowing they're 2 dead, knowing the other 3 heroes are nowhere to be found. Another free tier 2. Aegis does time out.
Dire's top tower.
But it times out as Ramses grabs his Agams. And this is fantastic, this game, against this Nyx, against this Crystal Maiden. They don't really have a way to get him anymore. It's just really difficult. And this lets him frontline, like rather than a BKB where he's got 10 seconds of that magic immunity to do what he wants. Instead he's just a lot harder to deal with. He can go at the front, tank those spells, and it's not on a 10-second. It's not a 10-second in-1 period, but it does give him that tank to frontline. He can just walk up to these towers with the Warlock and the Sven and the Vacuum behind him, not really caring about it.
Radiant's top tower is
Here he comes to get this, claim this last tier 2 for VP in this really pretty slow game. You know, 13 to 8 kills, 28 minutes. Exactly what Ramses wants. Exactly what Solo set up for him in the draft. He's not really able to make any plays on the map. Just not able to set up anything on this next. There's no play to be made. He does move up towards the Razor, just scouting out for him. Meanwhile, bottom. AM just farming. Picked up his Basher now, I think. Yep, it's the Basher. Still just slow farming.
has been killed.
Medusa going for the butterfly, she recognises the need for damage, and it's also going to help her against this anti-mage Manta illusion thing she's going to have to deal with, burning all her mana. The Blade Mail was a smart choice. Honestly, that's going to be where a good portion of her damage comes from, or at least it's a deterrent to the AM hitting him.
Trust me, I know how to handle such power.
It also means the VP, it's also quite good against Death Prophet, but she can't really control how her exorcism targets, so that damage is going to get returned if the Medusa wants to tank it. Pretty fast hero, pretty fast farm on Medusa, not as fast as an anti-mage. Like, you'll already flick over to the net worth chart, see Ramses is comfortably ahead. But the Medusa and the Razor not far behind, but they're just contained on Secret. They can't leave their base, they can't leave their side of the map. Meanwhile, Ramses is just free to farm wherever he wants, just edging closer and closer towards this butterfly. And he's going to be a real damage dealer to buildings. They're waiting for this Roche. But Leo just sat there, waiting for it. Fortunately, it does spawn just after they make a move, but much of a big deal. They head back to it. Solar scouts it out. BKB's a big pickup on the death, but she's just looking to be tanky. She's just looking to frontline, not die. The AM can deal most of the damage. She's over to the Death Prophet, and you just onto Ramses, of course. And now is when they want to be looking for this. They want to be looking for this first Rax. Ramses will chase down, absolutely nothing to be afraid of. And they just regroup. Forced out the BKB again from the Razor, just lowering that cooldown. More and more and more. And again, BP just happy to take it slow. And it's just the draft at work, that's all you're seeing, the draft at work, and Uppy just played straight into his hands. Just, I'm sure he debated out the Medusa pick, and they got this AM, and they've just played this AM game. 35 minutes now, still going. All the towers gone. Secret just contained to their side of the map. Ramses is practically on his butterfly now. In fact, he gets his butterfly right here. And this is where it all lines up. They've got this Aegis, they've got this butterfly smoking towards the bottom lane, and they just want to push this in. Ramses heading straight on up there. Little tussle, and then regroup, and then Ramses back in again. This is where we see that first real team fight for quite a long time now. We haven't actually seen a team fight all game. Despite really how much VP have wanted to force that. It's, instead of Secret being the ones aggressive with their Razor, it's VP looking for the high ground. And they get this rock off. Still Ramses with the Aegis. No one dead yet. Ramses goes in deep. He is probably going to lose the Aegis here, but it looks like he gets Kiza before he does. Not quite. Meanwhile, no one's exorcism. Not really done much work to the tower, but Ramses now does turn his back his attention. But they've used the Aegis for this, and they've got the Glypho. This is a really good haul from Secret, honestly. Ramses goes in. Really just trying to save his Sven, but blinks out just before Yapzor stun collides, and they just move away. Secret want this fight, but this time VP doing what they do. They're dodging it. Yapzor's looking for this initiation with all of his mobility items, but no real way to find one. Ramses just back to farming. Like I said, they're under no pressure to end this game. No pressure whatsoever. Going back for that Abyssal Blade now. I was surprised he finished the Butterfly after already having the Skull Basher. Going back for that Butterfly instead of just finishing the Abyssal Blade up, because it's quite a big power spike to grab that Abyssal Blade over just the Skull Basher. But Ramses recognizing that all he needs to do is really do that building damage and not be killed, so he opts back for the Butterfly. Now Secret putting on the pressure mid lane, knowing that they don't have the Aegis, they don't have the teamfight ults, they don't have this rock, they don't have this exorcism, and that's why you can let them take the tower for free, really. Just sat behind the AM in case they try and do anything funny, but they've got this mid lane pushing in bottom, which Yapzor points out. Wards, they don't get any. Still grouped as 5, just hugging their AM. Now they're waiting for this Abyssal Blade, and then they go straight back down to the bottom lane. Ramses not stopping the farm, sees the creep wave. Not looking for that jungle farm, just focused on this his role of pushing the lanes in. I say that as he then goes to the jungle farm, but I think it's more so to get to the mid wave than it is to go for that jungle. Yapzor just picking around the top, but has to come back for this defense. Sentry down for the Nyx, sentry down at top just to cover that ward. Yeah, Ramses blinking straight in, nothing to be afraid of, and the stun goes off onto this Razor. Ramses just really, really slow. There's the return of the Mana Snake. It's quite a little nifty use of the AM Aghanims. Blinking away. Make sure Razor doesn't get too much of that damage. Uses extended range with the Dragon Lance, able to pick off that essential ward covering for the Nyx. Now the Exorcism popped. AM doesn't even have to play aggressive. The DP can do all the work here. That Invis rune brewing really annoying. And there's the commit. Warlock on dropped. DP is bursted, but now you've got this AM. No mana on the Medusa, and you see that huge ult. Wipes her out once. Epicenter thrown off by Yapzor, doing absolutely no damage because he is an anti-mage. He does have spell shield. Ramses picks up 2. Ramses picks up 3. Buyback from the Medusa and the Sand King, and Ramses disengaging. They sit here, they look for that reinitiation, and they get it. Deal goes in, and Yapzor can reinitiate, and then there's that other AM ult for that Rampage there. Getting that level 25, the minus 50 seconds mana void cooldown, fantastic against this end core of Medusa and this Nyx. And they claim the first Rax. But they're not going to stop there, the Sand King's brought back. Medusa brought back, they see the chance to end this, so... Bear in mind, they don't have the team files, they don't have the DP. Ramses just doing what he can for this building, knowing that these two heroes are no threat to him. Or he has to back away. Now we find out he doesn't actually finish the Abyssal, he goes straight for a BKB instead, realising that if he can just win a fight... He doesn't need this Abyssal, he doesn't need to kill the heroes, they die already. So the stun's set up with the Sven. Just waiting now for their ults. Maybe even waiting for next Roche. AM to get his Abyssal Blade finished even. Opting for no boots now. Because he does have that butterfly for the Flutter. Roche not for another 4 or so minutes. Here comes the Abyssal Blade finished up for the AM. Medusa's items, still looking nothing fantastic. He's got this casual Demon Edge. Going in for that MKB now after starting for the Skadi. Realising she needs to be able to kill the AM, she's the damage, she needs to be able to do it. The magic damage isn't going to hurt him. And Ramses waits so long for Yapzor to show bottom lane, and they do get him. And this is enough of a reason to go for a push, but do they want to force the issue? Looks like they do. Ramses moving towards mid. Straight onto that tower. Bit of a miscommunication there from Leo. But the Exorcism was popped. Ramses' BKB popped. This fight's kind of split up, but the Kizu just sat there with the finally with the Nixags just being annoying. But Ramsey's under no real threat of dying. There's the Vac Wall. It's the Warlock Golem. The Upheaval sat back here with Solo under no threat, no way to cancel it really. Ramsey's just getting objectives. Medusa ult's popped. They go back in. Is where you're going to get that big AM ult again, wiping out the Medusa, and that's the second lane of Ramps. And they go for the end. And at this point, you've got to be calling GG.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Secret just didn't do enough with their early game. They got outdrafted, they got outlaned. And a really, really weird change of style from VP in this final game.
Radiant's top tower.
And a really smart draft from Solo. Good one getting grabbed with the Abyssal Blade again. Another AM ult. And this is GG.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire victory.
I mean, congrats to VP there. Ramsey's playing a solid game. No one doing pretty well mid as well, but you got to give hats off to Solo there for that. Like I said, I really only wanted to share this because of that draft and because of that first 10 minutes and how they played it. It was just so smart from Solo to get that draft and get that laning setup that he wanted. Puppey just really, it felt like he played straight into it. Pretty much flawless game from Ramsey's there. But Secret just didn't do enough with the Razor. Losing him early. They did get those 2 kills top, which was just enough to keep them in it. Honestly, they would have been calling GG 10 minutes earlier if it wasn't for that. But just a really solid draft from Solo, save for that final game. And just nothing new from Secret. Same kind of thing, same old thing. Heroes they're used to playing. Ramsey's obviously pretty good on the AM, Pasha pretty good Darkseer. Solo obviously with this kind of almost signature Warlock. Just really nicely drafted, really nicely played out and coordinated from VP. And that gives them the 3-2 win. But anyway, I don't want to drag on too long. It was a bit of a longer video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, let me know what you did enjoy. Like it, subscribe it, blah 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 blah. Come check out my stream, Twitch TV/EPC_antimatter. I'm streaming almost daily at the moment. Some party games, some solo queue, some spectating. Just come and chill. I'm pretty active in chat. Sometimes I play bad, sometimes I play slightly better than bad. I also offer coaching. I've not got anything prepared for this, but I do offer coaching. If you head to my Twitch stream, you'll see the information around that, based underneath in the info panels. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this kind of little half-cast, half-technical analysis of the grand final of the Summit. And congrats again to VP for bringing home that win, because it was a pretty interesting series, and this final game, not that fun to watch in terms of the actual game, but the execution and the strategy behind it was just top notch. They really did deserve this win, and hats off to Solo for that. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you around.